Good morning. My friend Rabbi Joe Potasnik shared an idea with me yesterday that it's interesting in our culture, in our society, when someone has a title, we put the title before their name. So we say Professor so-and-so, the Honorable so-and-so, Doctor so-and-so, Rabbi so-and-so. But in the Torah, there are many people who achieved great titles, but their name always precedes their title. So you have Avram Avinu, Yosef HaTzadik, David HaMelech, Eliyahu HaNavi. And the Torah is implying that first they were Avram, a boy by the name of Avram, a man by the name of Avram, and he achieved greatness and became Avinu, our father. And the same thing with Yosef. He wasn't born a tzaddik, he was Yosef, but through his great efforts and through his determination and devotion to God, he achieved the title of tzaddik. And the same thing was King David and every other great personality in Jewish history. And the message is that we are not born great. Greatness is something we have to work on. And we can never forget that anyone who achieved anything in life did it through a lot of toil, effort, and determination and self-work. And that's the way we achieve our titles. In this week's Parsha, Yaakov blesses his children. And every child gets an individual blessing. Reuven, he says, Shimon, Levi. He calls them by their names. Eventually they become the Yud Bei Shvatim, the leaders of the tribes. But they didn't start out as that. And as a parent, it is our job to guide our children to achieve greatness. God gives us children with names. And their names and their personality and their character has to be developed. And we have to show them how they could become and achieve their potential in life. There is a story told about a Hasidic Jew who lived in Yerushalayim, and he had 9 children. One of his children had a certain neurological problem and illness, and one day he saw there in the paper that there was going to be a conference of doctors from all over the world discussing this particular neurological challenge. So he decided he was going to go listen in on the lectures to see what he could learn about his child's condition. He came to the conference, sat in the back and listened to the lectures. At the conference, there was this religious doctor from America who came in from New York. And he went up to talk to him afterwards to ask questions about his child's condition, the latest treatments. And then he said to him, by the way, you're here for Shabbos. Would you like to come to my house for Shabbat dinner? So this religious Jew said, I would love to come to your house for Friday night dinner. I'm here for Shabbos anyway. So he went and picked him up. They davened in shul and they walked home Friday night. And as he was walking home Friday night, he said to his guest, he says, thank God my daughter is doing so well that it's really not even recognizable what her condition is. And you can't even detect anything. And he said, so much so that I would challenge you as a doctor who deals with this particular condition to see if at the course of the Shabbos dinner you could determine and guess which is the child that suffers from this condition. So he said, fine, let's see if I can figure it out. So they came to the Shabbos dinner, all 9 children are there, they have a beautiful Shabbos dinner. At the end of the dinner, he's walking his guest out. And he says, so tell me, he says to the doctor, were you able to see which is the child that has this struggle, this condition? And he said, yeah, this and this daughter, gave her name, she was sitting right there, she's the one. The father was shocked. He says, I can't believe you detected it. I mean, I know you're a doctor, but she doesn't have any symptoms right now. She's, everything is completely under control. How did you figure it out? And the doctor said, I'll tell you how I figured it out. Friday night there's a custom that we come, we sing Shalom Aleichem, we greet the angels, then we sing Eshes Chayil, a tribute to our wives, our mother. And then before we make Kiddush, each child comes up to the father and gets a blessing, where the father puts his hand on the child and blesses his children, just like Jacob does in this week's Torah portion. He said, I noticed that when that girl came up to get the blessing, there was more emotion, more intensity, more feeling in your blessing. And that's how I knew that this is the child that has this illness, this struggle. And that's the idea of blessing each child. We as parents have to be blessings to our children. But we only do that when we realize they're not just all our children with one title, children. Each one has a name, Reuven, Shimon, Levi. And when a parent could address the needs, both the strengths and the weaknesses of each child individually, then they can truly become a blessing to that child and help that child achieve their fullest and truest potential. Have a wonderful day.